In this segment, Stephanie Miller is joined by Glenn Kirschner. Together, the two discuss the radical assaults on how the federal government works.
But you were making a great point during the break that we can't let this be a distraction from what they're doing at the courts, right?
You know, Donald Trump got crushed in court over and over and over and over again this week, with the most recent development yesterday being really blockbuster. They actually complied with a court order to return a migrant that they had unconstitutionally deported. So guess what? They can do it. They were lying to us all along in the Abrego Garcia case. That's just one of 5 really good legal developments.
Well, you said it, that he's lost in court a staggering 96% of the time. But I just was super curious to get your reaction to what President Clinton said. Let's listen again. This was on The View. Go ahead. Okay.
Are you confident that the courts will hold? And what concerns you most about what he's doing now?
That the courts won't hold until we have the midterm elections. You should be worried about that, whatever your politics.
I mean, that's the problem, is this is just an exhausting cycle of them doing something illegal. Somebody has to sue. The court rules against him, and then we get to the compliance part, right?
Yeah. And if I heard President Clinton correct, he said his concern is that the courts won't hold until the midterms.
Yes.
I have that concern too. But I also firmly believe the courts will hold. They are holding. And when you look at, let me do a speed round. Just in the last couple of days, the court blocked Trump's efforts to dismantle the Job Corps. What is Job Corps? Well, it's only the largest U.S. training program for who? Low-income youth. So he wanted to get rid of it. Court said no. Then the First Circuit Court of Appeals said, oh, by the way, we are affirming the trial court blocking you from dismantling the Department of Education, and we uphold the order that you must rehire 1,300 people that you wrongfully terminated. Judge Boasberg just ruled that the 140 Venezuelan migrants that were unconstitutionally deported to the prison in El Salvador must have their court hearing so they can have their due process rights honored, and he gave them a week to put those procedures in place. And there are other cases, 2 wins in the Abrego Garcia case. And as we led with, also, they have now returned somebody that they unconstitutionally deported. He got crushed in court this week.
They admitted they'd sent by mistake. I mean, that's the first part of it. But so I just saved this one for you because since we played Bill Clinton, so Beatty says, after years of speculation and conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein's death, with conservatives convinced the Clintons were involved, Trump's FBI director tells us there was nothing nefarious, which can only mean one thing: Trump did it. I mean. First of all, we don't know that there's miles of videotape and photographs of Trump and Epstein together. I mean, so in some ways, this wasn't that much of a bombshell. And I think we all know if Trump wasn't in it, he would have released the Epstein files. And this is a thing on the right that the MAGA crowd's going crazy over, right?
Steph, the question answers itself, doesn't it? If the Epstein files implicated and incriminated Democrats, Pam Bondi would have released it
Bill
on
Clinton?
day 1.
If they implicated Bill Clinton, right?
Day 1. Instead, Elon Musk just spoke. I don't know if he's being truthful or not, but here's the thing, Steph, keep an eye on this. When Elon Musk splashes all over social media for the world to consume that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, let's see if Donald Trump brings a defamation suit against Elon Musk. Because if he doesn't, guess what?
Well,
he doesn't want discovery. He just doesn't want anything.
I was just going to say the D word, Glenn. This is why we've had this conversation, why he hasn't done this a lot of times. Because he's discovery. Because he'd have to go through discovery in a court of law. Whereas you say he loses 96% of the time. And that might be a low figure based on, in general. But I mean, you make such a good point, too. You said when you care about something deeply like you do, rule of law, justice, you see it going horrifically wrong. Exhaustion is inevitable, but I found the best antidote to exhaustion is engagement, participation, standing up, speaking out, staying strong, rallying, marching, protesting, engaging. And I have to say, this whole fight is kind of rocket fuel for our side because they both are such awful people. And it is like we were saying, pick your movie, right? Like Alien versus Predator, Kong and Godzilla, but it's just, there's the wreckage around them is going to be like a one of those movies, right?
And Steph, every word that comes out of Elon Musk's mouth is attributable to Donald Trump's poor judgment. Donald Trump brought him into the fold, said, "That's my man. I love him. He's a straight talker." And so everything that Elon Musk now says about Donald Trump owns it. It proves his piss poor. Can I say piss poor?
Oh, sure.
His piss
Yes.
poor judgment. So yeah, let's keep this feud going.
By the way, speaking in other tide is turning news, you said several companies are moving their business away from law firms that caved and capitulated to Donald Trump, saying if those firms can't fight for themselves, how can they be expected to fight for their clients? One corporate executive said, "We like law firms that don't run from a fight." Thank you. You've been saying that every week here, and thank
Steph,
God.
this is huge. This is really a huge. See, these are the legal developments that are not getting traction in mainstream or legacy or corporate media. I was at Jim Acosta's live show in downtown D.C. at the Lincoln Theater.
Yeah.
And as I told the audience on Monday night, I said, listen, the companies, Oracle, Morgan Stanley, and McDonald's, among others, are moving their business away from the law firms that bent a knee to Donald Trump, that gave the bully their lunch money. And these companies are saying, you know what? I like law firms that don't run from a fight. So actually, when I saw that reporting, I celebrated and supported McDonald's in the best way I know. I went and got myself a big-ass chocolate shake.
Yeah!
It's a little McFlurry of justice. Okay. Yeah, but you finished by saying, I, for one, can't wait for the rule of law to come back into the light. The rule of law is bigger than Donald Trump. It may not seem that way at the moment, but things will turn, provided we all stand together, fight the lawlessness, the corruption, the abuse of power, the indecency, and the cruelty. Let's roll.
Joining us now, someone who just got off the phone with the president. CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash joins us now by phone. Dana, what did he tell you?
Good morning, John. Well, he said that he's, quote, well, here's exactly what he said, quote, "I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem." He said he won't be speaking to him for a while, but he said he wishes Elon Musk well. It was a short conversation. He didn't seem very exercised about it. And the interesting thing is, of course, the context of this is how many people who are in both men's orbits are trying to broker a peace deal, so to speak, and trying to get them to talk because of the concern about the fallout in so many directions. I mean, the blast radius from this fallout is really, really big and very wide. But right now he said he's not interested in that, and he's moving on.